All right, boys and girls, I'm going to read today's test to you. You're going to have to really pay attention. I'll help to try to explain some of them. So we've got a graph here. Mike's supply of wood. It said he gathered some scrap wood from his uncle to build a new tree house, and he measured each piece of wood and plotted his results on the graph. So if he had a 9-inch piece of wood, he put an X there. If he had a 12-inch piece of wood, he had an X there. It says, how many pieces of wood did Mike gather from his uncle all together? Okay. Number 2, what is the difference in length between the shortest and the longest piece of wood? So we're talking about the inches. What's the difference in the shortest piece of wood and the longest piece of wood? We're not talking about X's on that one. All right. Number 3, Leroy measured the lengths in inches of all of the shoes in his house. The line plot below shows his measurements. So here's the lengths of shoes in inches. These were the numbers that he got. And every time he had a shoe that measured 5 inches, he put an X there. Every time he had a shoe that measured 6 inches, he put an X there. It says, how many shoes measured 7 inches long? All right, Tobin collected some leaves from his yard and measured them with a ruler. The list below shows their lengths in centimeters. Which line plot correctly shows the lengths of the leaves Tobin measured? So basically, you're matching his data to the correct line plot. So you need to see how many 4s he should have and look to see if they have that many 4s, that many X's above the 4. Look to see how many 3s he has and see if they have the correct amount of X's above the 3. Then go to the 5. See if how many 5s he had and see if they have which one has the correct number of 5s. So as you're going, eliminate it. So like I'll help you out on this one. We know we had 1 3, but how many 4s should we have? We should have 2 4s. This one doesn't, so that one's already out of the count. You can't use that one. So you just do them one at a time. And you're matching the data to the correct line plot. All right, Vic collected some bugs and measured them all. The line plot below shows the lengths of all the bugs he collected. So lengths of bugs in inches. Here's your inches. Your numbers across the bottom are your inches. The X's are every time he found a bug that was that long, he put an X there. How many 4-inch bugs did Vic measure? All right, number 6, after an ice storm, Miranda went and measured the lengths of icicles in inches from different places around her neighborhood. Then she created the line plot to represent her data. So here's her lengths in inches, and then every time she found one that was 5 inches, she put an X there. Every time she found one that was 6 inches, she put an X there. What was the longest icicle she measured? So we're not looking at the X's. We are looking at the measurements. What was the longest one that she found? All right, Lisa measured the lengths in meters of all of the driveways in her neighborhood. The line plot below shows all her measurements. So driveway lengths in meters. Here's her line plot. Every time she found one that was 3 meters long, she put an X there. It says, which list shows the lengths of all of the driveways Lisa measured? So you want the one down here that shows the right amount of each number. So we got 4 3s. We need to find the one down here with 4 3s. You're matching the line plot to the list of measurements. Mrs. Hampton's class measured the lengths of the students' hands. The line plot below shows the lengths in centimeters of their hands. So here's your measurements across the bottom, the lengths of hands in centimeters. And then she plotted each person's hands, however long they were. Number 8, what is the length of the shortest hand she measured? So remember, we're looking at the numbers. What's the shortest one that she measured? Not the X's. Not the one with the least amount of X's. The shortest measurement she got. And then it said, number 9, how many hands were 12 centimeters long? So we're looking at the 12 centimeters and counting up. See how many there were. All right, it says the line plot below shows the lengths of the classrooms in feet at Fairview Elementary. So here's your lengths across the bottom in feet. And every time he found a classroom that was 24 feet long, he put an X there. How many feet long is the largest room? So we're looking at our numbers to see which one was the largest one he measured. Not which one has the most X's. Which one is the longest measurement? Number 11, Mr. Larson is a scientist who studies sharks. On Saturday, he measured the lengths of several sharks. The list below shows the lengths of the sharks he measured. So here's his list. Here's his data. Which line plot below correctly represents the data he collected? So again, we're going one at a time. Start with your 9. See how many you have up here, and then go find the one that has that correct amount. If there's one that doesn't, then you can eliminate it. Then go to the 10. How many 10s did you have up here? Go find the one that has the correct amount of X's above the 10. If it doesn't, then eliminate it. Go one number at a time. Number 12, Haley planted some flowers in her garden. After 2 weeks, she measured the height of each flower. The line plot below shows the heights of the flowers she measured. So height the flowers in centimeters. Every time she found one that was 12 centimeters, she put an X there. If she found one that was 15 centimeters tall, she put an X there. What is the height of the tallest flower? Again, we're not really concerned about the X's. We are talking about the measurements. Which one is the tallest? And then the last thing you're going to do, everyone listen really carefully. You have quite a few fish that you're going to be measuring. You are measuring these fish in centimeters, so you're going to have to come get a centimeter ruler. Remember, the centimeter side is the side with the numbers, the units that are closer together. So you're going to measure each fish, and it's really important that you're careful and you measure the entire length of the fish. Don't hold your ruler down here because it might mess you up. You might think this one's just 6. We put it right on the center, tip of the mouth all the way to the tip of the tail. So this one would be 7 centimeters. So I'm going to write 7 centimeters. And then once you have measured all of your fish, you're going to do a line plot down here. Remember how we talked about if you don't have any 0s or 1s, or if you don't have any 10s or 11s, remember you can adjust your number line so that you don't put all those numbers on there. So like my tiniest fish would probably be this one. So I'm going to measure it for you. Let's see what it is. This one is 3 centimeters long. Okay, so I don't have to start with 0 because this one is my smallest one. I can just start with a 3 down here and then do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, because that's my shortest fish, my smallest fish, I can just start with that 3 centimeters. Give it a title. Remember that what we're measuring, you give it a title down here. So when you're done, you should have all of the fish measured in centimeters with the centimeter side of the ruler. Start with the 3 right here because there's no reason to start with 0 or 1 because we don't have any fish that small. So we can just start at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and fill in your X's. So this one was 3, so I should have an X above the 3. This one was 7, so I should have an X above the 7. And then give it a title. Lengths of fish in centimeters. Something about lengths of fish. Okay? All right. If you have any questions on this one, come let me know.